Okay, I hope I'm recording. Where is my share? All right. Hopefully this works, or hopefully you can see it. I really hope so. Okay, let me go back. Okay. So, sorry, I was practicing. My topic is homosexuality during the 80s by me. What is homosexuality? It is a romantic or sexual feeling between two people of the same gender. I myself am queer, so I resonate very much with this topic, and I enjoy learning about it. There's never been a time in our history without queer people or without trans people. We've existed forever. There's multiple accounts in Rome, Greece, ancient Egypt, all the way back, like since we've started writing things down. Homosexuality has existed. Trans people have existed. It wasn't until Christianity started to really influence society that it started to get pushed down, suppressed, and shamed, and it started to be considered a mental disorder. I couldn't find an exact time when that started, but people could be locked up, they could be killed, they could be put in jail. It was considered, very bad. And it was that until 1973. And before the 80s, the legalization of marriage was not anybody's high priority. The high priority was just self-expression. That's what people wanted, that's what people needed. Marriage didn't really become a topic until late 80s, 90s. And we didn't get marriage rights until 2010, which I'll talk about later. In the 80s, rise of homophobia began because of the AIDS epidemic. People started learning about it, they started fearing it, and queer people had to be pushed back into hiding. We had started to come back out, show a little bit of who we are, hidden bars, people dressing how they wanted, holding hands with who they wanted, loving who they wanted, but that had to sadly end in the 80s. Also, this, I messed up, and I apologize. Public figures did not shift their views away from homophobia. It was more towards homophobia. I misread something, submitted this. That's wrong, and I apologize. But in the mid 80s, like public figures began to really show their dislike for queer people. Riots began, they became violent. Protests began. Those weren't as violent, but the riots definitely were. Queer people were discriminated primarily in America, the UK, Australia. There are other places, and they still discriminate. The US has thankfully come pretty far, and I'm very glad about that. Because discrimination was pushed onto queer people, pushed us back into hiding, and it became almost illegal again. Why is it controversial? Religion. Christianity is the main cause for hate and discrimination towards homosexual people. It was because it broke traditions. So male, female, husband, wife, 2 kids, picket fence. It broke those values. And that was something that was super heavily pushed in the 80s because of Bush. Why does this matter? Well, gay rights are human rights, freedom of equality, expression. People have had to fight for their rights throughout time, all sorts of people. Everyone should have rights. Everyone should have the freedom to be who they want to be. Some queer culture artifacts is Julie Andrews in Victor Victoria, Freddie Mercury, Elton John, and my favorite book, Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. I adore that book. Couldn't put the movie in here, unfortunately, because I was from the 90s, but what a good movie. They really dumbed down the two main characters, Ruth and Iggy's relationship, though, in the movie, which I'm very bummed about. But if we get a remake, let's hope they keep their relationship. Icons from the 80s, RuPaul, Elton John, obviously. Madonna, I didn't know was an icon until I looked it up. She was a big supporter. And then Divine. I love Divine. She is so funny. She was a big influence actually on Ursula, like in Disney's Ursula, which I think is pretty cool because I'm an animation fan. The impact on today, same-sex marriage is legalized. I'm sorry, that was not 2010, it's 2015, but that's very recent. That is 10 years ago it was legalized. Schools are now open for queer students to have clubs, to be open about who they are. People can express themselves in public. You can hold hands, nobody bats an eye. You can kiss your girlfriend or boyfriend and nobody cares. Might get a snide comment or two, but we don't fear death anymore. Queer media and space. queer media in space is basically a spot where queer people can be themselves without fear of being hurt or arrested or killed. Slowly, media has begun to not push, but like what's the word? Showing people, like queer people, without dulling down or covering it up like they used to. So some icons are Chaperone. There's a bunch of gay bars. I put in my favorite queer couple from Arcane is Vi and Caitlyn. So we're no longer dumbed down, dulled, or pushed aside like we used to be. We finally are able to step up and, we have representation, and that's really nice to have nowadays. Especially for me, I love having representation. I get super excited. What's next? Same-sex marriage is now legalized, but people are pushing to revoke that. And the biggest target at the moment is trans people. Protect the Dolls movement has started. That's for trans women. Trans men don't have as much security, sadly, nowadays. People seem to be focused on trans women. I think everybody needs to be defended and protected, but riots have started. There's been talk of making queer marriage illegal now. That's really scary for me and my friends and family who are queer, but I'm just really hoping that's just lies and rumors. But some states are still considered danger zones now, which is also very scary. My hometown in Mississippi, I cannot be who I want to be there. Unfortunately, I've seen many signs out there about pray the gay away, it's a sin. A lot of racist comments also out there, so that's pretty unfortunate. But let's hope things progress. These are my sites, and that's basically it. Yeah, I really hope you could see that. Okay, how do I get back? Anyway, I really hope you could see all that. If you couldn't, that really sucks for me. Anyway, that's that. I will stop this recording now.